All right, cool. This looks like it's working. Hmm. It's been a long time, been a long time, been a long, lonely, 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 lonely time. All right, fitting. So, start out by saying I hope the refrigerator isn't making noise, but I can't tell. So I just have to hope. And I'm really glad you showed up. I've been missing you. I've been wanting you here in front of me so I can deliver this message, and I want to hear what you have to say about it. I'm going to actually try to read chat if there is any, and felt like it was important to because I was inspired by a video I saw just a few hours ago that I thought it was important to take the time to give my opinion on this real quick. And anybody stumbles across this video might lead them to that video. The video that I'm talking about is in the description, and it tells a story of a man named James Scott who has spent the last 29 years in prison because of a flood that happened in between Missouri and Illinois. And specifically, he was charged with breaking a levee to allow water to come in and flood a town in Illinois. And I have all this written down, Quincy, Illinois. And so specifically West Quincy, Illinois. It's a I guess, man, sometimes when you watch a video, it gets you emotionally, right? It gets you right there. You're like, mother, you're like, I want to do something about that. Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Zero Viz 53. I guess that's what it says. Zero Viz 53. Thank you. I've struggled with your name. When I see you, I just go, oh, cool. There's Z. You always have something nice to say, and I appreciate it. My old videos, you may not think the same way about me. I've coming around, man. I'm growing up. I feel like I'm about 20. And okay, so I'm watching this video, and the more you hear, the more you get angry. The perspective is being told from a reporter, a guy who his name is Adam Pitluck, and he wrote a book called Damned to Eternity, and that is about James Scott's 29 years in prison for essentially, Mother Nature's work, right? So an act of God has put this man in prison for 29 years because he happened to be near where it happened when it happened. My question, first of all, straight off the gate, is if you break open a levee, it doesn't that take you with it? Isn't that a lot of water at once? Wouldn't you be swept up into that shit and out to sea immediately? Seems like it. It seems like a lot of work. And then once you've done it, it seems like you can't possibly avoid getting sucked into it and possibly just, drowning. It is a hard thing to understand how he could even do that. And so that's where I started from. I was like, God, you tell me one person after it took the entire town to build this thing, plus the Army, the Guard, the National Guard. Thousands of people are out there building this thing. They're using bulldozers and they're using sandbags to build this levee, and it held up for 2 days. That's 2 days of pressure on this levee. And in the video, there's they have a guy. See, I had notes, man. I did do some note taking. 2 independent soil scientists were shown a topographical map of the area, and they were asked if you were to predict where a levee might break in this span of river, where would you predict? And just going by their scientific knowledge, and in 2 separate investigations, we'll call it, right? Both of them pointed to that exact spot where it broke, because the river, the river, what would you call it? The width of it shrinks in that area, and then it widens as it goes. So it's the tightest part to have to go through. See, I mean, I looked at it, and I'm not even a independent soil scientist, but I looked at it and was like, yeah, the smallest part, right, would be taking the most pressure of all that water. I kind of get that. I looked, I had a real disgusting analogy that involved the male anatomy being clogged in some way, but I'm not going to go there because I'm trying to keep it G, dog. So, all right, yeah, that those two things, and then there's no eyewitness. There was, nobody saw him out there banging away at the fucking levee. This levee, which by the way was I would say probably all eyes were on it. This flood, I remembered. I'm in North Carolina in 1993. I was 16 years old, right? Nope, I wasn't. I was 19. And I remember, I think they did a like a concert for this shit, right? Then what's his name? John Cougar Mellencamp. Didn't he do like a concert to raise money for these people? Farm Aid, I think it was called, right? So it was like a national news story. And if the spot, if the area, the levee that was holding up and protecting this town had held up for 2 days, I'm pretty sure all eyes in that town were on it. You know, what are you talking about, dude? What does it take to bust up a levee? He can't just go walking by and throw a fucking brick at it, and there you go. I mean, if it's hey Natalie, and hey Laurie Walsh 420. I love seeing you over in the other on what we're talking about, Kate or Irish Demon or those guys. I love seeing you over there. Team Skeptic, I think you might even be over there too. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. That's another whole cool story to chase. And what's up? What's up, Tally? Ghost Town Nation family. See, this is how you get sidetracked right here. I'm trying to do like what other people do. And my brain is so full of other shit that it's like I have to split it in half to be able to communicate like everybody else does. I'm such a damn spaz. So anyway, if you haven't seen the video, I linked it in the description. It's a must see. I would love to hear anybody go, yeah, sure, that guy probably could have done that. I've never had to build a levee or been in an area where we relied on the levee. But I do know that none of the farmers or the business owners out there had insurance from FEMA that would cover a natural disaster. They had homeowners insurance that would cover vandalism. Man, it almost makes me think, right? Okay, we're talking about a small town here, and you know how these small towns can get. And for everything that Chili is, and you'll know this, for everything that he is, he's absolutely right about the corruption going on in Ironton. And he actually is the first one who put that on YouTube. For every crazy thing that man is, I'm telling you, he's absolutely 100% right about small town corruption. And we've seen it many times over and over again. Hit that like button, hit the like button, take all you got to do. You got one of these, you have one of them. I don't care if you're Rick Crude, you got at least one of these. Take that thing and go like this and go land it right on the like button. Please, for Chili Maria de Castro. Okay, now, tell me, do you think that a town that small, where it's certainly the judges are in close contact with the local business owners, they have all the money. You run the farms there, you got that's the whole reason that town is existing. You're employing people. Whoops, we didn't have FEMA insurance. What are we going to do, man? We can't get paid for this shit. What are we going to do? Well, you saw that kid on the TV, right? Well, he's a damn known criminal. That dude done set fire, and he did. James Scott absolutely set fire to in a historic school in the town. Let's see here. I got the notes. He destroyed Webster School as a juvenile. I believe it was him and his brother. Burnt that place down, and he also admitted to robbery. Not robbery, burglary. Sorry, don't scratch that from the record. He admitted to burglarizing homes, stealing things from people when they weren't home. Again, those are crimes with victims, but nothing like scaring them to death with a pistol or something like that. Didn't do that kind of stuff. Never had a perverted sexual criminal record. Never had abuse of anyone on his criminal record. He was a vandal, sure, and a small time crook, basically, at a very young age. But, I mean, he was arrested at 19 for this thing, so he hadn't had that much time to grow. And it's a small town. There's not a lot to do. Sometimes you just be like, hey, let's go burn down that historic school. And he's like, hey, it'll be fun. Who knows? Whatever. They're growing up, not condoning it, but S happens. Man. So a pretty bad juvenile record. And I'm thinking one of these farmers or whatever saw him on TV and was like, you know what, man, I got a brilliant idea. Because these guys, they have brilliant ideas. That's how they got all the money. They're not stupid people. We say that guy right there did it. And here's how we're going to do it. We got a guy named, figure it all out. Oh, I wrote it down right there. Joe Flax. Joe Flax is willing to say in 1997 that my man here, James Scott, wanted to flood out the town so his wife couldn't get home. I guess he was married, girlfriend or whatever, couldn't get home so he could party that night. That was his motive. And I mean, what a brilliant motive. This guy, his whole life is nothing but partying and robbing people's houses and burning down schools, right? Fuck. Why not? That's a perfect fucking scapegoat. And in a small town like that, man, all you got to do is convince the public that that's the deal. He's going at no jury. They cannot find a jury, right? I mean, that's what happened. This, after all that work they put in, and by the way, he was on the crew building that thing. He was there working to build that thing, that levee. After all that work, the whole town put in, this asshole, just because he wanted to party, went and broke the levee and flooded our whole town out. And now we got to get insurance, and it pays out lots of money. And one of the farmers just bought him a brand new fucking house and said, fuck farming. I'm going to live off this money and slowly rebuild my farm. Who cares if he has to stay? He's been in there for this long, and when asked if he gets a chance to see the parole board, which his parole hearing keeps getting moved back and moved back. I believe now it's 2026. If he just goes in there and says, "I'm sorry for what I did. I'm a changed man," don't you think he'd have a better chance to get out? And he goes, "I won't do that. I'm not going to admit to doing something I didn't do. I don't care if I have to stay in here forever." Knowing this community the way I know it, isn't that the exact opposite of the people that we chastise, rightfully so? Instead of going in there and fighting for your freedom because you didn't do it, you took the plea, you must have done something. He isn't going to do that. And we're talking to the tune of already spent 29 years in prison for it. Oh, and guess how many people got killed? Good Lord. Oh, so many. Oh, that's right. It was none. Guess how many people got injured from this flood? None. No human beings were hurt. It's just property damage. I mean, even if he had done it, we're talking about the greatest piece of vandalism, right, ever. But still, even with all that property damage, 29 years, don't you think it's enough? Even if he had done it, I think that's enough. So here's why I came on all crazy, and I try not to do live streams anymore unless it's just something awesome, like I don't know, maybe an awesome interview. I'll do that, or just it's got to be something really big for me to pop on live anymore. I just don't. It ain't a lot of fun. Hamilton, what's up? Jang, what's up? Raven. All right, cool. So I've said hi to the people I'm seeing. I am. Look, it's me. What I'm doing right here is actually I'm reading the chat sometimes. That I know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel like, feel like I'm doing this the right way. So there's a way that we can probably do things that would promote helping. And I believe the video does all the work. I don't see anybody watching the video that I've linked in this description and not having the same opinion as me. And if that's true, we can write Governor Mike Parson in Missouri and ask, in the kindest way possible, if he would watch the video, maybe even if he would consider this story in its entirety consider, even if he were guilty, man, what kind of backlash are you going to get for letting this guy get out? It can't be that bad, right? Can't be that bad. They're not going to fucking elect you out of there just because you let this guy out. I think most people would agree he needs to be out. His name is James Scott. The video is linked below. Um, watch it, please. And then if you feel so inclined, share that video with people on other platforms. If you go to them, Facebook, if you go to whatever, what's this thing called? Discord, or even Twitter, if you so dare, whatever, share that shit and share it to family members. Talk about it. Get people to get inspired to do that as well. And then we can possibly affect some change. Whatever you think you can do, whatever it is that you're talented at, to get people to watch that video or share the story about this man, please do if you feel so inclined. If not, then don't, and whatever, it's fine. I just think we got a community full of people who are, when they see something wrong, they get on it. They get on it pretty fast. And this shit's been going on wrong for a very long time. I can't believe, there's a lot I can't believe. That man, Adam, who wrote the book, um, Damned to Eternity, has been in his spare time working this case for the last, since 2004, I believe. He's been on it, like, using up all of his spare time. He's trying to interview that guy, Joe Flax, and Joe Flax won't return his phone calls. He doesn't want to talk to him. He won't make a comment. Joe Flax, he's the one who gave the motive, saying that James Scott broke the levee so that he could party. He was 16 years old when he said that, and that was enough for the judge to sentence him. When the judge sentenced him, he said, "You got to watch this video, man." The way he said, the words he used, made this guy look such like an evil demon of society. He even somehow tried to implicate that this was some sexually perverted, motivated thing that he tried to do. The judge did that as he's sentencing him. So this is on the record. You know, he's saying stuff like, and this is not a quote, but like, maybe you were turned on by breaking the levee in some sexual way. What a weird fucking thing to say. And it makes me think that the judge wanted to get those words in and on the record because he's in the pocket, within the pockets of the business owners in the community and the farmers and the people who got all that cash, and maybe a little bit of cash accidentally fell out of their pockets. I'm not saying anybody did anything. I'm saying maybe they went out to dinner like they do. The rich like to go out to dinner. They party too sometimes. Usually it's just to go eat, maybe get you a steak and throw some ketchup on that bitch. But they go and they do these things, and all of a sudden they got so much money in their pockets. It just happens. We'll get up and go to the bathroom and leave just a trail of hundreds. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe the judge saw it. I'm not saying there was any direct payoff, but it seemed like those extra words were not necessary, to say the least. I don't know, man. You watch the video and tell me what it does to you. If you're a human being, like I think we are, you're going to want to wish you could do something about it. And you can. You know what to do. Write Governor Mike Parsons and tell him to free James Scott. They call him Jimmy. I don't even know if you can see it. I got it here on my thing. I wrote a permanent marker because it's a permanent problem until that guy gets out of there. I don't even know this guy, but A, I don't believe he did it. I believe the fucking thing just broke and he happened to be there because he worked on it the whole time. And B, even if he did, 29 years is enough. I believe they needed to solve the problem that those farmers in that area did not pay for FEMA insurance, therefore getting coverage for it. They needed to solve that problem. And the only way to do it with homeowners insurance was to have it be vandalism. And one man paid for it. All that money that rained down came from James Scott giving up his life for it. He's sentenced to 20 years to life. And he's already done 29. And he deserves $100,000 at least for every year he's spent in prison when it's all said and done. For every year he spent since he was 19 years old and he was accused of this shit, in my opinion, allegedly set up, just in my opinion, he deserves to be paid for it. Y'all put him to work. He was your cash cow, in my opinion, allegedly. So I put this on to do this because I was hoping some people would come on in. Riders, hey, what's up? Shady, what's up? Look at me just doing. Oh, I can read. I was getting a stiffy, but I just had to be out before this guy. Hey, see, I told you I read chat. Y'all, there's like this rumor going around that I don't read chat. It's not bothering me. I don't, it's not under my skin. I'm not like thinking about it a lot or something, right? There was this a rumor. And so obviously, I dispelled that. That was quick. Woo. Oh, anyway, if you feel so inclined, let's do something about it. If not, that's fine. I'll see you around.